What's up, guys? The Lazy Goldmaker here. Well, as I talked about last week, the token is in Wrath Classic now. And today we're going to break down how you go about making the currently 9,000 gold required to buy one if you want to play the game for free. So yeah, no judgments here. I'm not a token hater. You can hate me for that. That's fine. I don't care. We're going to talk about how to make gold to buy the token. So 9,000 gold. How much is that? Well, if you break it down, it's 300 gold per day on average. So the simplest way, obviously not my favorite way, you can go farm an hour a day, and you should get it. Most farming spots should be giving you more than 300 gold per day. Otherwise, you need to just search for a better farming spot. So that's the absolutely simplest way. Of course, that means you do have to farm 30 hours every week or 20 hours every week or every month. Forever if you want to play for free, which is really horrendously inefficient. Obviously you'd be better off just working like 1 extra hour at work or 2 extra hours and buying the token at that rate. Also, I don't personally like farming. Well, I do love playing professions, so we're gonna talk about how you can do that. Obviously material flipping is something I've done quite a bit on Classic, and it's something that works. I think you're unlikely to be able to make a token on a daily basis, or rather on a weekly basis. You can make a profit here. You can see I didn't flip that much Wrath materials, but I have made about 700 gold profit. Most of this was around launch, and obviously this does not include all of the losses. This does include all of these losses. So you can see here flipping mithril bars, potions of speed. There's a couple of 100 golds, even multiple 1,000 golds worth of profit on these items. So this can work, but this is more of an addition. This can maybe give you 50, 100 gold a day. If you log in every day and repost materials, I have a video on material flipping if you're interested in that. It works pretty well. But you're going to be really hard pressed to get to 300 gold per day. That does mean that you're probably going to have to buy and sell 1,200 to 1,500 gold worth of materials every day at the typical profit margins I see. And that's a lot of gold to be buying, and also I got a lot of gold in a lot of sales to get. So I think that's going to be pretty hard. So obviously we're going to prefer crafting, which is a lot easier because you have a much wider, you have this wide of a space of different items you can sell, which is just perfect. So there's a ton of different things you can craft. You can do prospecting, you can craft consumables, you can craft gear. I'm going to take a look at some options. We're going to look mostly at gear today because it's my favorite crafting market, and it is just great in my opinion. So right here, this is my blacksmith, and look at this. I crafted a ton of this entry-level PvP gear at the beginning of Wrath, and just look at the profit margins here on the Ornate, Serenite gear, Savage Serenite. 100 gold, 200 gold, 70 gold. This is really good. This is just really good. People are always playing catch up on their alts, by the way. This is something that I have made gold with in literally every expansion for years in WoW. People are always rolling new characters and spending gold to gear them out. You can also see that the Titan Steel gear has some pretty nice profits. Same for the weapons, decent profits. Slightly varying. Obviously, also you might be able to sell stuff like the Ulduar recipes if you're a raider. I don't have any of those because I haven't set foot in Ulduar or any of the raids really. But there's a lot of profit here. If we're looking at, say, the Titan Steel Bone Crusher or the weapons, the Bone Crusher, 500 gold profit. This isn't the top selling one. Titan Steel Destroyer, 300 gold. You would need to sell on average 1 Titan Steel Destroyer a day. Obviously that's going to be pretty hard. But if you have Titan Steel Destroyers, and then you have the Bone Crushers, and the Guardians, and the Shankers, and the Spale Blades, if you have all of them up on the auction house, then probably you'll sell 1 weapon per day on average. And then you need to sell some Serenite gear, some whatever gear. It just stacks up. If you're looking at just the plate gear here, by the way, just the plate gear, if we're assuming 60 gold average profit, which is probably on the low side because I don't really see anyone below 60, but we're going to do a conservative estimate. If you have 60 gold, make 60 gold on average, you need to sell 150 pieces of PvP gear in a month. Now, is that a lot? That's obviously the question you might ask, but Lazy, that sounds like a lot of pieces. So here are my sales from around the launch weekend, by the way, or the launch part of Wrath, where I played the auction house for about 40 days. And just from tailoring and blacksmithing, I sold 500 PvP pieces in 40 days. Just from those two professions, not including leatherworking, which I also sold a ton of. So yeah, I mean, this gear sells fast. You can see here I sold 43,000 gold worth of this in 40 days, and the profit was at least 30%. So I made a token here in 40 days, just from entry level PvP gear. And if anything, the profit margins are just as good, if not better, for some of these items. Look here, at the end we were selling stuff for like 30 gold. At the beginning we were selling them for a lot more, like multiple hundreds. But I mean, prices right now are not worse than they were at launch. And if we're trusting TSM sale data, then these still sell, not super quickly, but they still sell. So keeping all of this out on the auction house, you should be able to generate a couple of sales per day. You need to sell 5 of these per day, 5 plate items or 5 PvP gear pieces. If you have 2 professions, that's going to be most likely fairly attainable. Obviously, there's tons of other methods as well. The important part here is that you are going to stack different crafting markets on top of each other. So if you're just crafting PvP gear or just crafting like Savage Serenite leg plates, you would have to, I mean, no one's going to buy 150 Savage Serenite leg plates in a week or in a month. Like, you're not going to be able to sell that single item. But if you spread out over every Serenite piece and a couple of Titan Steel pieces, and maybe you're also prospecting for gems, then you're starting to be in a position where you're in so many different markets that all of them are generating some profits. Okay, maybe something is generating 20 gold per day, and maybe you're doing a Skyflare diamond transmute and you're getting 30 gold per day from that, and then you're doing something else for 50 gold per day. And then once you reach 200 gold per day, well, that's enough to get the token, and then you're cruising. Now, my personal suggestion, go for gear crafting. That's my favorite market in the game. Then you can also go for prospecting, particularly with the next phase coming up. Epic gem prospecting might be good, or we might be focusing on rare still. I mean, people are just going to buy the epic gems. So it all depends on how it checks out with the Emblems of Justices, as I discussed in my last video. But yeah, gems, consumables, everything, people are going to keep buying them. There's a new raid coming out, and we're going to see a surge in demand. Probably not in prices, but there's definitely going to be selling a lot more consumables, a lot more gems, as people get access to a new tier of gear. So take advantage of that and make yourself some gold for a token.